What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Port Adelaide and the off-season that has been happening so far. A bit of an update video, a bit of a chilled sort of rundown of what's been happening. Obviously, I do apologise for the lack of content other than the glass table. It's obviously been a pretty quiet sort of mix between, rumours and obviously having a few weeks off and focusing on work and stuff like that. So it's been a pretty interesting sort of couple of weeks since we've properly sat down and sort of talked about what's been going on at Port Adelaide. We obviously know a few of the updates that have happened so far, with Luke Webster officially joining the club as the assistant coach. He'll be replacing Tyson Goldsack, who's gone to the forward line. He's obviously switched up, who has replaced Chad Corn. So yeah, a lot of key changes in terms of that. So we've seen Tim Parham come out as the Director of Athletic Performance as well, a new role that's been created for Port Adelaide in Port Adelaide's high performance department. So nice changes that have been happening there that have been confirmed. Obviously, we've seen a few different rumours roaming about that have been happening throughout the off-season. We know plenty of the players. We talked about trade targets and everything in the previous video, and we've obviously seen since that Motlop has been one that's been thrown around. Braden Fiorini's been an option as well, and I think I'll kind of wait until those things sort of eventuate a little bit more with what's been circulating to really build, and before we actually talk about what the changes could be. But the main couple of things that have come out over the last couple of days have been really intriguing. The search for Port Adelaide's new footy boss is well underway. Obviously, Chris Davies heading to Carlton, and Port's new footy GM is in search. The club has come out and said they're not really looking to rush this process. This is a very important part of the club. This is a crucial role to be filled, and they'll be looking at everything possible to sort of, I guess, digest into see what we could possibly get in that role. We've seen a couple of names thrown up, in particular Peter Bell, who's been over in WA, obviously Fremantle legend, and has been an integral part of that club for a long time. He's been a name that has been not offered the role, but definitely been in need of, in search of, I guess. And the other one's Jimmy Bartell. Did a tour of Port Adelaide, seems to be the front runner at the moment, who toured the club. He was with GWS for a few years before coming back as a commentator, and obviously being part of Channel 9 and SEN as well, and I think 3AW actually. So yeah, a very footy minded brain, and one that has been sought after, and he was someone that we did look at as an assistant when he did retire as well. I do remember that conversation, but didn't eventuate with what was planning out. But if Jimmy Bartell is the option, then I love the option of picking him up. He knows success. The Cats, it was a very crucial time. He knows how to build a football club. He knows how to keep a football club consistent. He's been part of that both as a playing group and also as someone that developed under the GWS bracket, which we saw they made a grand final while he was in his tenure, and they've been a consistent football club since. So having someone like Jimmy Bartell is I think, a very nice sort of change. It's outside the realms of Port Adelaide. It's someone that you want fresh ideas from, and I think a lot of these changes and a lot of these differences that people have when they come in. Luke Webster's been part of West Coast, and he's seen the flag in 2018. He knows success. We know that Jimmy Bartell, as I said, has been part of the Cats and GWS, and he knows success. And I think someone that has that footy mind in them, who knows how to take footy seriously, but also knows how to utilise what they have and really get the best out of that department. I really like the idea of Jimmy Bartell. I want to see who else they have as a candidate, because this is like, for young footy fans, I don't think they look past the players or the coach really when it comes to a football club. And like me, I'm very similar in the sense that I know a lot of what happens on the field and can see what happens on the field, and assistant coaches and all that, but behind the scenes in the footy department and part of what can be as a GM of a football operations manager at the club, it's something that's very, very important to keeping everyone happy in the club running as good as it can. So learning more about this role would be very interesting, and I think definitely if it's up to someone that comes to the club that's out of outside of the balloon that is Port Adelaide, then I definitely recommend picking them up, and Jimmy Bartel would be a great option. I'd love to see who else comes aboard though. I would love to see who else they could potentially poach or could recruit as the GM, because if you're a fan that a bit more about that sort of thing, let me know in the comments below about someone who we should target for the GM of footy at Port Adelaide. A couple of other things that have come out over the last couple of days that I think have really got my excitement, and I really love these poachings if we can get them. Port Adelaide will announce the appointment of Hawthorn development boss Andy Collins, who's been around the Sandful. He's been around, success with Williamstown, the VFL clubs, and he knows how to be part of that in terms of his coaching ability, but also development. He's seen over the Hawks be successful. He's seen over the Bloods and the Sandful be successful. He's been a really important figure in a lot of the football football realm. So him coming across from Hawthorn, part of that successful team that have turned around such a young group to bring them back to this competitive edge. Him and Sam Mitchell and the likes have been really important for that club to be developing the way they are. So Andy Collins coming to the club is very crucial, I think, an important part of what Josh Carr can do as a coach and as a new senior coach. Having that experience around him would be really, really nice. And also in the same sort of breath is Stewie Dew. Has been sought after at Alberton for, I reckon, close to 24 months now, since he got the sacking at Gold Coast. He went to Brisbane, seen the success there. He was a sort of a development coach, part-time, and really come on board more this year as a forwards coach, and really been a sounding figure in what they've been able to produce. And I think him coming back home, back to Port Adelaide, would be a really full circle moment, being part of the coaching panel with Josh Carr, and that already looks really good. Like, we already have the Tyson Goldsacks of the club staying put and everything like that, but having Andy Collins, Stuart Dew, Luke Webster, these experienced people around him, and then you have Josh, and then Tyson Goldsack, and these people that have built this club that can create a new era for Port Adelaide, and that's exactly what's needed, a reset, a brand new era. And it really excites me, a lot of these changes that are happening in the realms of coaching and off field, and what's going to be built. The playing group will build itself. We've got the core there, we've got our playing group that we need. We'd love to go after some more, a couple more midfielders, or a small defender and a small forward again. But if we're recruiting already Will Brodie, Jacob Ware, and then obviously Braden Fiorini, if he comes along, a couple of our extras as well, could be a really, really nice sort of building block for Port Adelaide come 2026. And we've got the key ingredients, got returning figures from injury, Todd Marshall, Jack Lukosius. We've seen Horn Francis being rebuilding as well. A lot of talent is there, and it's a new wave, it's a new era for Port Adelaide, and I'm absolutely so excited for it. Well, Port fans, let me know in the comments below your thoughts about these changes and upcoming trade period and everything like that. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Bit of an update, bit of a chat, and really, really excited to see what comes across in 2026 for Port Adelaide. But a lot to like coming this final series. The Crows are out in straight sets, which means we can enjoy the rest of the finals. And hopefully it's a good one as well. Make sure you check out The Glass Table. The latest episode is out now, so please tune in or listen on Spotify. And thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, for plenty more Port Adelaide AFL content to come your way. We're nearly at 6,000 subscribers, which would be great to reach by the time the end of the year happens. And I would really love your support. But thank you once again for watching. My name's Anthony, and as always, come the pair.